We have some breaking news. The Toronto Blue Jays star Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has spoken out and revealed the truth on not only his Jays future, but what his contract request was prior to declining the Jays offer. We're going to break down the exact numbers, discuss what he said, as well as discuss what this means going forward, as these details are very intriguing. We're also going to break down some other updates surrounding spring training. But before we get into all that, ladies and gentlemen, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. If you're part of the 70 or so percent who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. Your guys' support has continued to be unbelievable. And the Jays are looking promising in spring training, but still, a lot of Jays fans are salty. They're upset. We're all upset. We're all salty about the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. lack of extension. And it's something that Ross Atkins should have absolutely gotten done. There is no doubt about it. But for now, the past few weeks since that deadline hit, we were all wondering what the actual exact number was. We heard rumblings from David Ortiz, 580, something like that. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for the first time has broken the silence surrounding his contract talks. Now, let's dive right into it. There's a bunch of different things here. So this came out from Enrique Rojas from ESPN. And he said, and this is, of course, the non-translated version. We'll translate it now. Basically, he said that he wasn't even looking for $600 million. That is what the translation is. He said that I didn't even want, I wasn't even $600 million, which is absolutely absurd, right? I mean, first of all, the number wasn't 600 million. The number was actually, according to Batflip here, 14 or 15 years, over $550 million. So the number that he was looking for was around the $550 million range, is what we expected, a little bit less. I mean, I thought it was David Ortiz's number of 580 was what a lot of people thought. But I mean, I was thinking he actually was asking for, around that. So the number that he requested from the Jays is 14 or 15 years, $550 million. And that's why in this article with ESPN, he said, I wasn't even looking for 600 million. The actual quote was not even 600 million. We are talking about a first baseman here. And to go to not even 600 million is a little bit absurd. It is a little bit absurd. It's a little bit crazy. And quite frankly, I don't even know what to think about this. And I'm very curious to see what you all think down below in the comment section, because at the end of the day, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is worth a lot of money, especially to the Toronto Blue Jays team. He's the heart and soul of this team. He sells jerseys, the new renovations, all these different things. And we were wondering what the actual number was. It used to be 300, and then it moved up to 400, and then the Soto contract, it moved up to 500. And then it ultimately moved up to over, clearly around $550 million. And Batflip did say take his translation with a grain of salt and stuff like that. But at the same time, $550 million is just absurd. Now, this part I'm not entirely sure is accurate. Some people were saying it wasn't, but Batflip said, Vlady said he lowered the years to try to get a deal done at the start of camp. Rough estimates of 12 or 13 years in the 480 to 520 range would have gotten a deal done. Blue Jays balked. I don't know. I didn't see that translation. I did see the number of around $550 million ish. But again, you can take these numbers as you will. These aren't firm numbers. But what is for sure is that he came out and said the not even $600 million. It wasn't even $600 million that he was asking for. So the 550 is about right on the money. At the very least, it was in the late 500 millions, which in a nutshell is absurd. It is a first baseman. You can see this here from Claps. I love Vlady, and he's my favorite player, but he needs to put up to his 2024 numbers in 2025 to command that contract, especially at 14 and 15 years. That back half of the contract would be insane. I mean, type in the chat, I'm in the comment section down below. Would you do a deal for $550 million? Let's say it's 15 years, $550 million. If you were Ross Atkins and the Toronto Blue Jays, would you have done that deal? Because I think for me, there was a number. I mean, I think 500 was probably my max. I mean, 550, I maybe would have stretched. And I've been on record on this channel saying, okay, maybe at $550 million, you get the deal done. The Jays did not want to go there, and I figured if it was near the $550 million number, the Jays would balk. And I don't think it was 480. I don't think it was, around that. I think it was in the deep 500s, because that's also what David Ortiz came out and said after the deadline hit. It was like, he said 580. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. I mean, it keeps getting more and more ridiculous. I mean, yes, Vlady is a fantastic player, but he's coming off a season in 2023 where he put up a 789 OPS, right? And, I mean, that's an OPS similar to Anthony Santander, in a down year, right? And you're thinking about that. Is that the player? Now, 2021, he was an MVP caliber player, but I don't know if the Jays are willing to commit. Now, granted, he is one of the best. He's probably the best first baseman, one of the best first basemen in baseball, one of the best hitters in baseball, top 5 hitter, right? So, and his peripherals everything points to this contract aging well, even at 15 years at $550 million, just because of his pure talent. But if you somehow get the Vlady of 2022 or even 2023, it would turn into a disastrous contract, which is not something you really want. And this is something else that Vlady said in one of his spring training tour interviews. He said, "I'm here right now, and I'll just try to help the team win." Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on the deadline he set for contracts before spring training. So there was a lot of interviews going around today, and he basically said, "I'm here right now," which also got fans a little bit fired up because we also know he came out after the deadline and spoke to the New York Post and all these different things. I think at this point, I've just come to accept the fact that Ross Atkins messed up. This was not just a this year thing. It was not just a matter of them not accepting or not offering Vlady $550 million. And whether you think Vlady deserves that number, that's up to you. But what is not really debatable is the Jays should have gotten this done over the past handful of seasons. There were lots of opportunities. Yes, in hindsight, it's easy to say that when he had a lot of up and down years, but you could have gotten the deal done before it got to this point. Could anybody have predicted the Shohei Ohtani Soto contracts getting to the point where they did now? I don't know. Probably not. However, Vladdy is at the point now where he's going to cost a lot of money. If he has a great year this year, it's going to be $600 million. If he has a down year, then the conversations become more and more interesting. But again, he spoke to the New York Post saying he'd be willing to go to the Yankees. He's willing to go to all 30 teams. Coming out now and saying, "I'm here right now, and I'll just try to help the team win." I don't know if he wants, he does want to be a Blue Jay. He said that, but it's interesting because he asked this ridiculous number and all these different things. So we're revisiting it a little bit because a bunch of news came out. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. I mean, it is a little wild. It is a little ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward because, at this point, you look at the team now and you look at specifically Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s projected stats. I know it's a bit small there, but you can see he has a projected 4.8 WAR, 152 WRC+. So he is projected, according to all advanced metrics, to have a fantastic season, like a season similar to last year, a bit worse than 890 OPS. If he puts that up, he will earn himself a huge paycheck, right? There's no doubt about it. And this team looks very solid on paper, especially if you get Dalton Varsho in there instead of Joey Loperfido. All these different things, right? No disrespect to Loperfido. And Dalton Varsho played center field today, so he looks like he's going to be good to go. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that contract is an absurd ask. At the end of the saying not even $600 million is unbelievable. I think it's still a little bit unreasonable to be close to that. But if you're Vladdy, you want to hit free agency. It is the most enticing thing in the world to have 29 other teams bidding for your services, and that's what Vladdy is doing, and it is fair enough. But we got some clarity on the numbers. One other thing I want to throw out here is surrounding Arjun Nimmala. And there's been some rumblings about it. Just wanted to kind of touch on him a little bit. Some articles came out about it after his first home run in the spring. And John Schneider came out and said really good pace about him. Not a whole lot of panic. He seems like he kind of fits in a little bit. And defensively, same as in the box. Just a good pace to his game. He doesn't look overwhelmed at all. He had the night game last week in New York and handled himself really well. That's the kind of stuff we look at. The swing is the swing and the arm is the arm. But seeing them in live action is what we're going to look at them when they're coming over. Obviously from AAA to obviously MLB now. Arjun Nimmala is a ways away, but still, it's been a really good first impression. Arjun is going to be the future of this team, the future shortstop, and it's going to be exciting to see. Just wanted to give him a little bit of a shout out there. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know down below what your thoughts are. A ton of new news is coming out. At the end of the day, not even $600 million. That's what Vladdy said. And boy, do I wish I could say that I didn't even ask for $600 million as my salary. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest news. Thank you guys for watching. Cheers.